It's just gone lunchtime. This is the third and final hour of All Angles here on ENCA. Good afternoon. I'm Masego Ratlaga. So it's that time of the day when we give you an update on how far many of the stories we've been following for you have advanced. Let's get straight to it. We've got our reporters on the ground following the many different stories. Tshepo Thobane is in Johannesburg and we have Ronald Masinda in the Eastern Cape. They've been tracking developments in these stories, and of course I'm going to start with you, Tshepo. SA Tourism having a media briefing just a short while ago. They're defending their proposed sponsorship of English Premier League side Tottenham Hotspur. This decision has been met with widespread anger from South Africans who say there are better things that we should be spending our money on. But the CEO, Tshepo, telling you there as the media that this deal has not been signed yet, but it will go ahead.
Afternoon, Masego. In fact, the media briefing has just ended a short while ago. Well, you are correct by saying that the South African Tourism defended their proposed plan. What we know is that at this stage, it is not a done deal. What we know is that the South African Tourism are still contemplating partnering with the English Premier League side, that is Tottenham Hotspur. What we know is that they said that they are still, it's not about football for starters. They are still considering, making sure that South African Tourism improves by striking a deal with Tottenham Hotspur. Let's take a look to what he said earlier on.
That's the profit and loss that you're looking at. It is a solid business case that has got a direct impact in terms of foreign investment that comes into the country, that is able to then create jobs, sustain SMMEs, and be able to return, the dignity of a better life to our people around South Africa. So let me look straight into camera and say this to all South Africans. The money that's invested in tourism is not the same money that's required for energy. It's not the same amount of money that is required for potholes. There are other departments that are dedicated and are given that mandate by legislation. Our legislated mandate is not about that. Our legislative mandate is about persuading international people to travel into the country and spend money in our economy. And that is what we will stick to. Whether it is through this initiative or any other initiative, but that is what we are mandated to do, that is what we're paid to do, and that is what we will continue to do until we're told otherwise.
All right, we're also joined by our colleague Manqoba Mchunu, who is in Sunninghill in Sandton outside Eskom's Megawatt Park offices. But let me start with you, Ronald. You spoke to the community of Mchunu earlier today. They're reeling following the murder of 10 people in just one night. Tell us about what you've been able to gather.
Okay, so there was a series of shooting incidents that took place in the OR Tambo district of the Eastern Cape. But I'm going to talk about the main ones. So the first one that was reported was around 8 o'clock last night. It happened at the Tshepo village. This is where 3 people were shot and killed. It's believed that gunmen went into a house where they shot and killed a 62-year-old. They proceeded by killing a 13-year-old grandson. They then went next door to kill a 44-year-old. The motive behind the attack is unknown, with the police investigation still ongoing. Then in Mchunu, that is where we spoke earlier, where 7 people were shot and killed. But the residents there say that they are adamant that this place was a drug den and that this could be drug-related. They also heard from one of the chiefs earlier on. He said there were about 20 places or houses where drugs were sold openly, and that it was up to the community to now speak out about the problems plaguing the Mchunu area. We also heard from one of the family members earlier, and I hope you do have that soundbite.
Ndifonelwe ekuseni kusithiwa mandicheke abantwana basendlini babakhona na young brothers zam ezithanda kuzohlala kule area. Ndifuna ngomnye we-family member xa ndibacheka kwi-rooms zabo abekho nyani, ndibe sendifumana ikhola kuthiwa mandizojonga apha. Ndiyayazi ke ifriend yabo le kuthiwa kudutyulwe abantu about 7 mandikhawuleze ndiyojonga phaa. Luckily ke ndafika kungagcwali, amapolisa andibonisa ndababona bobathathu.
All right, let's go to Manqoba now, who is outside Eskom's Megawatt Park. And over there, Manqoba, a civic movement group calling itself Stand Up SA, has taken the fight for reliable and affordable electricity to Eskom's doorstep. What's happened so far? Did they have anyone come and accept their memorandum of demands, maybe?
Indeed, Masiho, we did see one of the Eskom representatives coming to address this particular grouping. Of course, they marched to Eskom's doorstep. They're demanding an end to rolling blackouts. And these are different organizations, Masiho, from various civil organization groups that are here, that are part of this protest. We also saw some ordinary South Africans also voicing their discontent as far as the issue of rolling blackouts is concerned. Of course, this comes as the country is plunged into stage 5 and 6 of rolling blackouts. And some of the demands that these organizations have is that they want accountability from Eskom. They want answers as to really what is behind the ongoing load shedding that we're seeing in the country. But more than anything, they also want that increase that was imposed and granted by NERSA last month to be scrapped. They also want accountability as far as some of the managers at Eskom are performing their duties. They want coal companies that are also not supplying coal that is up to standard to be named and shamed. Those are just some of the demands that they've brought here to Eskom. Of course, Eskom saying that they are going to respond to those memorandum and those demands that are listed in that memorandum. But earlier on, I spoke to one of the march organizers about what it is that they want to say to Eskom.
We are saying to Eskom, we want an uninterrupted supply of power. This is a long-term demand. On a short-term demand, we are not going to pay that 18% increase by NERSA. Eskom has to stop making electricity requests up until they get their house in order. So we're not going to pay that 18%. So when we go to Eskom, we want to tell them we're not going to pay the 18% increase. Get your house in order and stop making these requests to NERSA. So we have been provoked. That's why we're here today. But we are peaceful. We are saying to Eskom and this management, let's sit down and talk, because we know that we are paying substandard coal we are paying coal companies for a substandard coal. So we are saying to them that is unacceptable. You don't pay for a substandard service. List the name of those companies. Tell us what are those sanctions. Do weekly updates, Eskom, because at the moment we don't even trust what you say. You no longer tell us anymore what is wrong with one power station and which one is it. So we want transparency and accountability. Weekly updates every week. Those are just the basic demands.
All right, that was your All Angles Lunchtime update with reporters Manqoba Mchunu, Ronald Masinda and Tshepo Thobane. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Let's leave it there for now.